first of all, correct. I mean, just make sure we all get your last name pronounced correctly. Yesufu?
Yesufu, yes, sir.
Yesufu. Okay. So you've got past relationships with Coach DeVries. You understand his system a little bit. Explain what Darren DeVries' system is like.
It's basically free flowing. He lets guys, just play. He doesn't have guys thinking too much out there. Lets guys play their game as long as it's, you're not taking bad shots. As long as you're playing hard, you're defending, and that's about it.
You healthy? I know you've had some issues, right?
Yes, sir. I'm healthy. I've been out since last year, but I'm working myself back.
Frustrated? I mean, anytime you're injured, I'm sure it's frustrating. How was it dealing with the injury?
Not gonna lie, it was tough. I've never been away from basketball for that long. But when I look back on it, I needed it, to take a step back, and realize what's really important, and that's Jesus Christ. So that's how I look at it.
It was a hip, right? Or
Yes, sir, it's a hip.
it was something like you fell on it, or?
No, it was over time. It wasn't like I hit something or fell. It was over time, wear and tear.
You moved around obviously a good bit. Is that difficult? Moving around in this, and then this time, why ultimately come back to Coach DeVries and to West Virginia?
Yeah, I moved around, and not a lot of guys, people get to be in different places. But I look at that as a great opportunity to connect with people in different towns. So I don't really criticize myself for that. But the reason I chose Coach DeVries again is because he's a great coach. And to be honest, he didn't even have to accept me back, because you know how men are. But that just shows the kind of person he is, shows the kind of coach he is, the father he is, to accept me back, and I'll never forget about that.
The fans here in Morgantown, I guess pretty much everywhere in the Big 12, everyone kind of hates Kansas. What was your experience like?
I love Kansas. Great community, great teammates, great coaching staff. That's my alma mater. I graduated from there, so it's nothing, no bad blood between Kansas. I love everybody over there.
I've always wondered, what's it like being on a team that everyone hates you? Obviously, other than the home fans, obviously, but everyone else is going to be rooting against you. What's that like?
It's in a way it's kind of fun. Going into a game, the crowd's not gonna be on your side at all. You're gonna get everybody's best, and that's what we loved. It's always a target on our back, so we had to be prepared every night.
You guys played at West Virginia then,
Yes,
right?
yes,
so
sir.
what was in the locker room? What was the thought about coming to the Coliseum? Because they hadn't had much success here
Yes,
over
sir.
the years. Did you guys win that year?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what was the thought amongst KU people about playing here?
Well, it's going to be a tough game, and they're going to be gritty. Coach Huggins was here. He's a great coach, and he knew what Coach Huggins was about to do. So it was a tough game plan. A lot of we just had to adjust to the play style. We weren't going to be getting a lot of calls because they're ultra aggressive. So we had to adjust all of that.
As someone who's played in this system before, is it tougher to learn and pick up things offensively or defensively, and why?
It's not tough at all. I still remembered how he wanted to play. So it's a matter of, first of all, getting my body back right, which it is now, and just getting healthy, getting back in shape, and just implementing what I've learned since I've been with them.
Joseph, speaking of that, were you with Washington State in the tournament last year? NCAA?
Yes, sir. I came back.
Were you like an extra assistant coach for Drake?
Yes and no.
Right?
Yes, sir. I wasn't one of those guys, reveal game plans, but I did watch a lot of film before I got there, and gave them a lot of player tendencies.
Did it help?
It did actually, yeah.
Almost 6 or 7, right?
Yes, sir.
Were you I think you played 5 or 6 games last year?
I didn't hear you.
You played 5 or 6 games?
Yeah,
last year?
around there. Yes, sir.
Were you done when you sat out? Were you thinking maybe you can come come back at the end of the year? Like, how did that go for you? Because you could have applied for medical, but there's certain deadlines and all that stuff.
Yes, sir. So I was dealing with the injury in the summer when I was at Washington State. So I sat out basically that whole summer because, to get back right. So I started feeling a little bit better. But then as the season started going on, it started going, getting worse again. So initially when I sat out, I wanted to come back. I love basketball. That's my true love. So I talked to a lot of people, and they helped me realize if I can't give 100% on the court at that time, it's best to save that year.
And then that was just a weird experience last year at Washington State because you're going to a Pac-12 school that suddenly the Pac-12 isn't there anymore. And then the coach, he seems like a pretty good guy to play for, really popular player, so then he leaves.
Yes, sir.
Just take me through all the many ups and downs for you last year with everything that was going on beside basketball, which is pretty good.
Yes, sir. It was a lot. Coach Smith is a great person, great coach. And then just having him leave, I didn't want to leave again. Like, I didn't want to transfer again. But looking back on it, like I said, it's a blessing in disguise. I feel like everything happens for a reason. I was supposed to be here, supposed to be playing for DeVries again, and I came here to win. So that's my ultimate goal. So.
When you entered the portal, how did that process work? Did he reach out to you? How did all that kind of happen?
Oh yes, sir. He reached out to me actually when I was.
Surprise you?
It did. I was on the treadmill actually. To be honest, I was on the treadmill, and I got the call from him. I heard, but jumped off the treadmill. And he just told me that he would really like to, basically saying I was interested, to, join him again. And of course, I was open to it. So, yeah, that's how I got here.
So into your game, what are some of your strengths as a player?
Strengths, to be honest, I'm a scorer. Driving, I can shoot, pull up. I feel like my biggest thing is my defense. Of course, it's gonna take a little time to come back, dealing with my injury, but I feel like I could really get it in on the defensive end.
Is that ball pressure?
Ball pressure. I love pressuring people. I hate my biggest pet peeve is get scored on.
The 2 years you spent with Coach at Drake, was it 2 years?
2 years, yes, sir.
So obviously, he's kind of building things there at that time, and then up-and-comer kind of thing. So now he's obviously in a new position, first, Power 5 school. Do you see any difference in him since he's, moved to the bigger school and that kind of stuff, or is he still the same guy that you knew a few years ago?
I'll say he's very confident. Coming in, he, his first year at Drake. Well, I wasn't there for his very first year, but he definitely built that program up. You go through ups and downs, and he went through that his first 2 years. But after that, those first 2 years, he really figured it out. But overall, he's a great coach. Great person to play for. Cares for his players. He's a players coach.
He's still the same guy that you knew?
Yes,
all
sir.
those years?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What about Tucker? You played with him 1 year, I guess, right?
No, actually, this is my first year
did?
playing.
Okay.
I left the year he came.
Okay. So what's he give this team, and not just him, but maybe Toby and all the other guys you're having to mix in with?
First of all, he's the reigning Missouri Valley Player of the Year, so he's gonna bring that experience. Great scorer. Also, he's a great leader. He's been through it all. He's led teams to the championship, won the championship. So he brings that experience, that championship mentality over here, and him playing his dad, that's a dream come true playing with your father. And I know they've been enjoying this, this road, and I know they want to end his last year with a bang. So he's definitely bringing that championship mentality, that winning mentality over here.
You would have known Tucker. I guess he'd have been a little kid, don't you? You still think of him as a high school kid, or what's your?
Yeah, I thought a little bit. But he's definitely grown. He used to hang with me a little bit. And some of my teammates at Drake, being in the dorms, playing the game and stuff. So, he's definitely grown, and I'm very proud of him.
You obviously going through the portal, and you've been in situations more than once of having to get to know a bunch of new guys. Any tricks to that? Any secrets on?
I'll say just first of all, it's a blessing to get to know a lot of people, but I'll just say, you know, just always be a good person. Being a good person, keeping a smile on your face, because you never know whose life you can impact with just a smile. You know, just being kind to people. That's what I've been trying, you know, to do throughout my life. You know, no matter what's going on within my life, no matter how bad things get with me, you know, I always want to impact somebody's life every day.
Anything different at all about getting to know this bunch compared to, you know, Washington State?
What was the first part? I didn't.
Or anything as far as getting to know this bunch here at WVU? Anything different at all with, you know, getting to learn guys at Washington State or Kansas, or has it been any different experience at all? Or?
Oh no, sir, not really. I feel like it's the same process. You know, when you first get here, you know, you gotta feel people out to see their tendencies. You see what makes them mad, what makes them, you know, happy, or whatever that may be. But that's with everybody. You know, that's how you bond. That's how you build relationships with everybody, and that's how you create a team.
Toughest part about not playing competitive basketball for 7 or 8 months.
Man, when you've been around something your whole life for how old am I, 24 years, it just feels like a piece of you is taken away, because I felt like, you know, my identity was basketball, but my identity, I realized throughout that process, my identity isn't basketball. It's, you know, God, you know, just being close to Him, and that process helped me, you know, get closer to Him and realize what truly is important.
You've been on a lot of levels in college basketball. What is it but you were with Kansas long enough to know, what is it that makes Kansas Kansas?
I'll say just the atmosphere. The people demand winning. If you don't win, you came up short. Like they don't believe in runner-ups. Either you win it all or you failed that season. So I feel like that mentality kind of put you know, not pressure on our best, but we knew that we had to come prepared every day.
It's different being there, though, than other places, isn't it?
Sir?
It's different being there than other places,
Yes,
isn't
sir.
it? I mean, but
Yes, sir.
just in your attitude. And
Yes, sir.
You grew up where? Where are you from?
Bolingbrook, Illinois.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Joseph, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.